Hello, welcome to Scripture Art in the Christie's Lettering Tribe. I wanted to start kind of from my beginning setup for those of you who are new. Some of you haven't done Scripture Art with me yet. I am using a journal. It's just an art journal, and it's by Arteza. We have links for different things if you're interested in getting the same thing I have, but basically it's like the 5x8, 8x5, something like that. So it doesn't matter what you use. Mine on the inside, it's not watercolor paper. I think it's more like, well, no, it might be. No, it is watercolor paper. Anyway, here's some of the stuff that we've done. Here's a couple of the art pages we've done. And here's another one here. There. And there's one there. Okay, but today I have an empty spot here. So I'm going to choose to put it here. Now, you want something to protect the underneath of the page before, and then something to protect this side over here. So I'm just going to put this here. This is Teflon paper. I just started using it for something and I kind of like it. So, but it doesn't matter what you use. And then I put a piece of washi tape right here, but I also have this, I just happen to have already this piece of scrap paper. So I'm going to stick it here too, just as extra protection on that page over there. If that's going to stick. Is that going to stick to that? Okay. So next, what we'll do is this is carbon paper, which helps you transfer. I don't always transfer stuff. I don't always use my template, but for this one, I definitely want to because it's a lot of details. Today, what we're doing is this lighthouse. This is quite a bit of detail, but it's going to be so fun, and we're going to break it down into steps to make it easy. And I'm just going to, I already put these together. So I've got the carbon paper here. Okay. And then I've got my template right on top. And then I'm just going to put it right there. And now, whatever I draw on top of here, as long as the dark side is down, or if you have different graphite and carbon paper come differently. And if you have one that has like black on both sides, it's the shiny side down. That's what's going to transfer over, typically. Okay, and now I'm taking a pencil, which you could take anything actually to trace, but I'm using a pencil on purpose today because it's got a finer tip, and I just want to make sure you can get more details that way. Where did I get this template? Maybe you're asking that. Okay, so in the Facebook group, you can get it, or if after the class, you could get it on the website. But it always has like the little title of what it is, Scripture Art, and then it's got this, and I just cut it apart. To make it fit in a journal. And this is a sketch from the Oregon coast. I'm not sure how to say this, but it's a lighthouse and it's so beautiful. And I just went there with my daughter last week or week before last. When was it? Maybe it was week before last. We had so much fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the hard thing about using a pencil is you can't always necessarily see where you've traced, but find a spot and trace it, and it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to do a painting technique that's so forgiving. But find a spot that you can get started and trace a little bit, but before you get too far, how do I know this? Believe me, I know. It may not transfer. So make sure that you're pressing down hard enough to transfer. And then once you press down hard enough, you want to, sorry. Like choked down here. There we go. I can see that a lot better. I know it's hard for you to see, but as long as I can see it, that's what's most important right now. And I'm just going to go around that out. Well, actually, while I have this here, I probably should just go ahead and go around all the lines because it's going to be almost impossible to line it back up after. Okay. So go ahead and do all of the lines that, like these windows are important. Because we're going to trace over them. Okay, how are we doing? Looking good. I can see it. But don't pick it up too far. Now, this may take a little bit of time. I wanted to go ahead and do it, but then I thought, well, I have a really bad tickle in my throat. I apologize. I don't know where it came from. I hate some jalapeno cheese bread for lunch. Maybe I'm allergic to it. I hope not, because I love it. It's sourdough. It's really good. I didn't make it. My daughter, sorry. My daughter went to the farmer's market this weekend, and she picked it up for me. Wasn't that sweet? I want to make sure that we're doing good, that we're live. Can you double check to see if you can see me live on YouTube? ? Okay. Anyway, we had the best trip on the Oregon coast. It was amazing. Thank you for those of you who recommended it. I feel like I've got to be allergic to something. The only thing different I ate were pepperoncinis, which I eat. I eat those, and they're good, and I've never had a problem with them. Turkey, which I eat all the time. The only thing different is that bread. I had a tomato, too, which I had last night, and it didn't make me cough, so. And the tea I drink daily, so that's not it. Uh-oh, this is sliding around. Ah! It's not taped down good, y'all. Make sure you tape it down good. You can see right here it's coming up. So we can't even talk, sorry. We have changed our time and day to our iPad scripture art. So it'll be tomorrow at 1 p.m. if I don't die before then. I'm not going to die before then. Just kidding. But I feel like I'm falling apart. Okay, I'm getting closer, y'all, to getting the details done here. Okay. They've got these little, kind of like barns, these little buildings that I'm tracing now. And then I'm kind of just scribbling. This is okay to just do some scribbling. It doesn't have to be exactly the trees. I'm just scribbling. Doesn't have to be exact either. Just save some room for the trees. I'm not even making the branches on it, I don't think. I'm just going to, because that's something you can add later and it doesn't have to be exact. And then I've got my little mountains. Have you ever been here? Oh, it's lovely. Did I get most of it done? I think so. Okay, let's look. Let's take a look. Not too bad. Oh, it's so hard for y'all to see. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, now you can kind of see. There's my lighthouse. Here's the mountainous area and all. I do see a part that I missed. So I'm just going to look at it and kind of sketch it. Right here, there's like a kind of a mountain, and it goes up here and down. I feel like it goes more down into these trees. And then this down here is water. This is water in here. Now I'm just going to trace a little bit and go back over some of this just to give you an idea of where everything is, since it's hard to see on camera. Okay, so there's my lighthouse. I mean, my eyes are just, I mean, I'm crying. On the outside of the bread, it said wheat and dairy on it. I mean, I don't have a problem with that ever. So, okay. Now we're going to end up going over this with a waterproof marker. Okay, and I think everything else I can cut. These were trees, so I'm just going to make some little ticks here. Just to remember those are trees. One moment. There we go. Okay, and this is like a little grassy area. This is where the water is still around here. That's the water. Again, that's the water over here and in here. This is seems like a lot, but when we're going to break it down, it's not going to be so bad. I'm making okay, and this is I forgot what that is. What is that? I guess it's part of the mountain. All right. More mountain. I think you can see most of it now. Okay, except the little house barn things. Now, where did I get this from? Well, I actually, like I said, I went here, but I found the picture online. And I want you to see. Let's see if I can find that picture real quick. I took it before I left. So let me back up here. I'm just over here bawling. Sorry about that. This is your sign to go with your daughter, if you have a daughter, on a trip. Gosh, I don't know where it would be. This I did this before I left for my trip, so you can imagine that. Sorry, that was my mama. She forgot. Well, she probably thought I was done with my classes because I don't always do a 1 o'clock class. Hold on, I went too far back. But I want you to see, because I really zoomed in on it. We would have had a lot more detail. And I think this is going to be good for you as to watch as a rerun, a replay, because there are a lot of steps. So here's actually, this is not the real thing. This is my iPad version. But you can see the lighthouse. You see these little houses. It's not a barn. I kept calling it a barn. There's the water back in there. We've got the mountains up here. And then got some fields and mountains here. There's the trees. Okay. Okay. And then I saved room up here for the scripture, which I didn't write yet, but we can add that later. And this is the sketch that you have that you can trace. Let me make sure. Let me see if I have the original picture on. I mean, I do somewhere. The original picture. But if you're going somewhere and you can't get like the majestic picture you want to get, just Google online where you're going to go and you'll get some of the best photography out there, you know? I don't know where I put the picture, but here's what the real thing looks like. The real Lighthouse, what it looks like. I'm going to back up just for a second to see if I can find it. Sorry. I'm going to see if I can pull up the, I think it'd be good for you to see the finished one as we're talking. And I don't have that printed out, but I have it on the computer. And so I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to try to work through this, y'all. Trying to work through it. But the template I gave you, I also gave you a picture of my finished iPad version. And I gave you yeah, the template for this. So I'm going to download this real quick. And then see if I can pull it on the computer for you. Thanks for being patient. Okay. You ready? Okay, there it is. Again, you can see like the whole thing now. So we've got the lighthouse on the side. See, we've got our lighthouse over here. Now, it looks different because in the picture on the screen, I have it zoomed out. But when I started to do it on this little paper, I zoomed in. So you see how the lighthouse, you only see part of the lighthouse. You don't see the whole thing because we zoomed in. There was so much detail. I wanted to like really zoom in. So the little cottages or houses are down here. This is some more greenery. Okay, that makes sense. We want to remember this is water. This is all greenery, but it's different greenery. And to make it look like hills, you've got to have different colors of green, different layers and textures of things. So are you ready? I'm going to use gouache. Maybe you're not familiar with gouache, and so I'm going to show you. Hi, April. I don't know if you just popped on, but I am having a allergic reaction to something, and I feel like I just ate, so it must be something that I ate. I don't know. It's so weird. So I'm going to see if I can keep hanging in here because it's not fun. Okay, here we go. I want to pull in that little, can I bring that picture in somewhere else? Because I'd like to see it while we're, But maybe it'll be distracting. Maybe you shouldn't have to be able to see it while I'm doing it. Okay, here we go. I know. I don't know what it is. I can hardly talk without coughing. I'm trying to get the best camera view. That just isn't as zoomed in as this is. So that's why I'm thinking maybe something is strange with the zoom thing. Okay, so the big picture is here. And what we're going to do is I've got my gouache. Now, gouache, I need to tell you a couple things about gouache, by the way. You found me, Donna. Thank you. I'm glad you are here. Can I breathe? I can breathe, so that's good. I just can hardly talk without coughing, and my eyes are watering. It's like the weirdest experience. So this is my gouache. Gouache, if you don't know what it is, it's in between watercolor and acrylic paint. And it's so fun to work with. I love it. But it's a little bit messy, which sometimes is fun in art, right? Here's a little palette. It comes with some paintbrushes. It comes with all of these little containers. Now I'm going to tell you something gross that some of you are going to be like, I don't ever want to buy that. And I understand. But before I bought it, I heard that they can get moldy because of all that moisture in there, right? Well, I oversprayed mine and then just show you that they do get moldy. I'm throwing this one away. I don't think there's any way I can save it, but I just wanted you to see, yes, it does happen. So if you have these, just pay attention to how they look and everything. I have a couple of paintbrushes I'm going to be working with today. I know. I just ate something for lunch, and the only thing weird that I ate that I don't normally eat is a piece of jalapeno bread it's sourdough, and it's handmade from a farmer's market, and I don't know. Oh no. Jenny said this is not when we were supposed to have our class, but here we are. Here we are. It's a lot anyway, and so it's a lot going on here. So what we want to do is we kind of want to look at our sketch. The paintbrushes that I pulled out today, I pulled out this because a lot of people have it. It's just an aqua brush. It's just a paintbrush that already has water in it. Makes it easy to play around with. And then I got this one, which is kind of a shorter, and I felt like I could do some daubing with this because it doesn't have a point. It's like a straight, it's like a flat brush kind of, but it's stiff. It's like kind of like a trash brush, I call it, because I do crazy things with paintbrushes sometimes, and so this is what might be what you call a trash brush. But what we want to do first is do like a wash. Okay, so we're going to look around and see where would we have what colors, just so we can kind of get our bearings here. Obviously the Lighthouse is white. I'm just going to leave it like it is. Oh, actually, no, let's do an underpainting, an undercoat. Have y'all been seeing people do that? Like a wild underpainting? Have you heard of that undercoat? I'm going to do that. And when I say wild, I don't know if it's going to be that wild. I've got some hot pink right here. Okay, got some hot pink, and I'm going to put some orange with it. Golden orange. I need some more water. Got my little water container. Why don't I have water in it? Where's my water? Oh, sorry. I got to get some water. I apologize. Luckily, I'm right beside a bathroom. Okay, I thought I had everything done because I sprayed down my gouache ahead of time. Okay, so inside here, this is just water. And I'm going to add some water to these colors that I'm calling my underpainting. Okay, and I want to add some more pink to that. And it's because I want some of this to peek through underneath when I'm done. Does that make sense? I'm going to cover it up. Yeah, that sounds weird. You're going to cover it up right after you just painted it one color. Eventually I will. We may have to finish this one next week since I wasn't going to do it until next week anyway. This was a weird week for us because the way we set up scripture art is we do the second Monday of the month, right? Well, this is just the first Monday, but it feels like the second because it's already the 7th. So that's why we're confused on the dates. But tomorrow for sure is the iPad one. Okay, so here I am painting the white lighthouse red, kind of a red pinkish color. Now up here, I just want to do, this is actually going to probably stay something close to this color. Anyway, before y'all popped on, I just showed how to trace it. The template, basically, traced it. Okay. Now I'm going to pick a different color. This is the water. I know. Looks weird. Looks weird. But that's my water. It's orange. You might have to just trust me on this one before you start painting. Either you're going to have to trust me or just watch the process and then decide if you want to try this or not. But all this water, I'm going to do orange for now. This is the water. You heard of underpainting? Yeah. Underpainting, it makes your project cohesive because everything's going to have that tone under it, if that makes sense. But I'm going to go back over this with blue. And how can I do that? Because it's gouache, right? You can't really do that with watercolor necessarily. So you need to use something else for that. Okay, for my sky, ooh, how about I do like a purpley color? Purpley, pinky, purpley. Ooh, wait, I think I like this. Oh, that's too blue. That's too much like the real sky. I'm going to do purple. If you missed the beginning of this video, I talked about, well, not the beginning, but if you missed part of the video that when I pulled up my gouache, some of it did mildew. So I had to throw some of it away. That's what happens when you get it all wet and then you close it up and put it away. So it's kind of a catch-22 because you need it wet and you want it wet. So you close it up in there wet, but then it's frustrating. So I think what I may end up doing is getting some, I do have some that are in a container and just start using those. Somebody showed me a different way to store them, so I'll probably be showing y'all that before too long. Okay, so my sky's purple. Sometimes it helps to get some water on here before you bring the color over. Just depends. Okay, sky. Got our quote purpley sky. I think I may do, actually I think all of this is sky. This is just a lighter part of the sky. So I'm going to change that to, maybe I will do this really pretty, this color here. As the underpainting for this part of the sky. It's kind of like a, not a sunset, but kind of. Looks like during that time, sunset time. So part of me doesn't even want to show you the picture because it's not done just like the picture, and that might even confuse you more, but it's also fun to see what the original picture looks like. I guarantee you it will not look like this. But it's somewhere, it's just nice to get inspiration from somewhere and start somewhere. Trying to think of what else I had for lunch. All I had was this, like, I had a half a piece of bread. I mean, I had one piece of bread that I folded in half. is this right here? That's part of the sky too. Oh, and this is part of the sky, but it even gets lighter. So let's see. How about, I don't know, this is that color with a little bit of white. That goes all the way here. It's probably gonna look too much like it's really supposed to look like, but we'll see. Okay, now we get into the mountains and all the different greenery stages. And remember, it's really important that to break up these mountains and all, that we have a lot of shades of green. All right. So you want to make sure that you mix up, no matter what you're using, mix up different. Like if you have just one green, add some white to it to make it lighter. Let me show you. So I'm getting some lime green right now. This is lime green. Okay, put my lime green right here. But that's just one green. Say that's all I have. Well, if you have white, we're going to take some white and mix it over here, and then we're going to have a nicer, like a light green. And then if we add some yellow, we're going to make a totally different green, right? It's kind of a yellow green. And then if we add darker color, like a little bit of black, just a drop of black, you're getting this like kind of a gray green. It's a dark green. Okay, that's just to give you an example. I'm not ready to do green yet, but I am ready to kind of paint these in different pockets and little sections. Okay, so first I'm going to kind of draw off some of the sections that didn't transfer very well over on my paper with the imaginary pencil that I have. Hi, Becky. Becky, we didn't know either. This is just a weird week on how it's set up. And so, yeah, we didn't know either. This is going to be green right here. This is a section right here. And then we can make some little sections sit here as well. Maybe a little section right there. And then this has its own little section. So we're just going to make different pockets of green. But I'm glad you're here. We will have, the replay is what's most important. If I could get through this, because something's wrong. I'm allergic to something. I don't know what happened, but between Divas and Doodles, I had lunch and then I came here and now I'm falling apart. Not really. I'm doing fine. Okay, I'm going to do what color? The water is orange right now before I go over it. The mountains, I'm going to make them different than that orange. But I want to see if this orange is too much like it. Yeah, probably so. How about if we mix these two? Okay, so just for right here, this little part of the mountains, it's going to be this orange color. And I may pick some other spots to do that as well. Okay, so let's do this little shrubbery or little mountain, mini mountain. The same. And then maybe I'll get some yellow and do this big one. And then since I have the yellow out, I'm going to pick another place to add some other spot to add some yellow under painting. How about right here? We'll see how far we get today and see if we have to do a part 2 next week, and then we'll be on schedule. We'll be where we're supposed to be. I had a little bit of red to this one because it's getting too much like the Lighthouse. And here. Or too much like the water, I'm sorry. And I could even take a tissue if I wanted and dab a little bit off if it's too much. Okay. How many shades of green do you use? I would at least have 3, but the more the better, in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna dive into this. It is a shade of green, but we're gonna put something on top of it to make it lighter. So eventually. And this really is, it's a glaze. It's just like it's not supposed to be colored in good. It's just an underpainting. Has anybody else been to this lighthouse in wherever I went? Oregon. There's a place called, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know how to say it. Yachats. It's pretty close to there. That's the cutest little town ever. We had so much fun there, my daughter and I. Okay, more. I'm going to do a lime green here, but whenever I go over it, I'm going to do probably a darker green on top, so this will shine through. And right here, this little section right there. I should have done color by number and given y'all numbers on here. Might have appreciated that. Okay. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry about this annoying cough. I know, right? Maybe a Benadryl. My eyes, I don't think they're puffy. Maybe I should go get a Benadryl real quick, just because I don't know what's happening in here. I'll be right back. Okay, Benadryl taken, done. Okay, this is wild looking. Isn't this crazy, the process that we're going through? Yeah, I don't think my eyes are puffy, but I cannot talk without it tickling here and it making me, I don't know. Thank you. Appreciate that. I feel like I'm fine. I just need some attention, I guess. Some extra attention. If I were home by myself and you guys weren't worried about me, then no one would care. So glad I'm with you. Somebody cares at least. My dogs might care. Only it affects me feeding them, right? Okay. I'm trying to think about this water. I'm just going to go ahead and extend this orange in here a little bit. Because the water does in the original picture, which I don't have to do it like that. It does extend down here behind the trees, underneath the trees and behind the trees. So just going to add a little orange right there. Hopefully we'll remember that's water. Okay, next. These housetops. I'm going to make them pink. And they're actually kind of a red, so the pink will shine through the red. Which if we had the soft pink that I had to throw away, that'd even be better. But the roofs are a different color than the rest of it. They kind of popped off the page. So the main colors on this, I'll show y'all since some of you just popped on. The main colors for this project are lots of green, pops of red, some white, and then some neutrals. If you'll see all the different shades of green I used, there's a dark green, a middle green, a light green. There's another like middle kind of shade of green, just tons of greens. And then up in the sky, you can see how we made it really light. But if you look, you can see pink throughout. Do you see pink back there in the sky? That was the underpainting. Do you see the lighthouse? See that light, that pink that's shining through? That's the underpainting. So we'll end up with white on top of this. All right. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This one's up close more, so it's going to look a little different. I'm going to do pink underpainting for that that lighthouse. I mean the light bulb. But I want it watered down. You're trying to get it watered down on there. There we go. Okay. Got that. That looks good. Okay. And then I feel like I'm almost there. I kind of want to bring this yellow over here because this is the mountain. And then we'll have the trees on top of that. There's that. And then I think that's water. Also, no, that's a house. That's a little house. Almost covered up that little house. That's all right. If we covered it up, we'd cover it up. No one would ever know. But Paisley and I walked up this hill. We walked up over here. It's a long way up. A long way up. A jalapeno pepper flake caught in your throat. I don't think it had pepper flakes. It had real jalapenos in there. Maybe it got like, yeah. But I don't know. I love jalapenos. I eat them all the time. Weird. So weird. But I'm drinking Earl Grey tea and it is so good. Do y'all drink that? Oh, so good. I love it. Love it, love it. Okay, more green, more green. So I'm going to take this green, put it down in here. Wait a minute. No, I'm not. Okay, so actually what I put, well, yeah, I can. What I put right here, this was like kind of concrete. This part right here. And then y'all see if you like underpainting or not. Might not like it at all. I need a little bit of red or pink right here. And then those houses they're white. So see how I did this red color? I want to do that, and then I'll go back over it with white. Later, after it dries and we're ready to move to that step. I actually love that there's so much freedom in this. You don't have to worry about the perfect details. See, I got a little gray mixed in there. And this tree. I think I'm going to do, maybe I'll just do this random blue color for this tree. Or this gray even. And my water needs to go back behind there, this orange behind that tree. Okay, just making a mess now. I stopped here. I don't know why. I need to keep going. Am I underpainting? I actually could do this whole thing. But I'm not going to... Now I'm seeing what I did behind the lines. And what I need to do is go back. I forgot. I missed this step. Is continue the sky. Because this is glass, so it's see-through, right? So continue the sky through there. And I need to go up and get some more of that purple. And continue the sky right here, too. Right there and right there. And then keep going with this red right here. But when we go over it, it's going to be close to black around that. Now I've got all the almost all the under painting done. I need a little bit right here for the greenery. Okay. Now it needs to dry. I hope y'all don't give up on this one. I hope you will see it through when you do yours. And of course, always do yours the way you want to do it. It doesn't have to be just like mine, but take some of the tips that I show and use it, you know, for fun. Maybe you just want to do the lighthouse. That's fine. Now the next part's fun because we're going to start dabbing. Dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. And I'm going to start with the greens. Start getting these mountains done over here. But I don't want anything wet. We want it to dry before we go to the next step. Okay, I think we're pretty good. So I'm going to switch brushes because this one's got a really good point to it. I don't want a point. If I use a point on what I'm about to do, it's going to mess up my brush. So I'm going to use this one it's got a flat side to it, and it's not the best brush ever, and that's why I like it for what we're doing. So now I'm going to get some green. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of play with it over here. Maybe mix it with some other greens. And then I'm just going to start tapping. Maybe get a little bit more of this gray and tap. There may be several shades of green in this one little area right here. I still have some yellow showing. That's fine. Because remember, it's going to show through. Now I want to get a little bit different green. And they go on top of that. You see that? See if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. It's better. Okay, so see how I'm tapping. If some of the yellow shows through, it's great. If it doesn't, it's okay too. There we go. That looks good. It looks like bushes and like on top of a mountain. That's what we're going for. Okay. Next, let's find another area to work with. Let's just go ahead and keep doing the same thing because we've already got these colors mixed up here. It's still going to look different. It's still going to look different. And don't have it too wet. You want it a little bit drier now. Because we're not doing an underpainting now. I might have to find a smaller brush that this is. Okay, there we go. And now that yellow's showing through and it still looks good. It still looks good. So let's go over here to this one. I still have some paint on my brush. I'm going to keep going. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. Now, maybe that lime green color and put it over here. Maybe a little water. But not too much. Might have to dab some off on a paper towel or something because you don't want it too wet. But let's try right here. That lime. Let's try that lime right here. See how that blue's popping through? But it looks good. And maybe I'll get a more lime to go on top of that. Make it a little bit more limey. Those are all looking kind of similar, which is good. That's fine. This one's darker. It's got some darker colors. So let's grab some of this darker again. They don't have to look alike at all, but they look kind of alike because I have the same colors and I'm using them, and it's just because I'm spreading them out. Over here, I'm going to do the same. Dab, dab, dab. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. Now, these are butting up next to these, so we probably want to make them look different. How would we do that? Well, let's mix some colors. So I'm going to take this little area right here and get some of this lime green out. Oops, some lime green. And let's see how this looks just by itself on top of this blue. Does that look different than the green next to it? I think so. Yeah. And then maybe over here we can keep going with that. Now, there's no rules. We can keep going back over these and making them look different. Just trying to remember, the blue is like a, kind of like a driveway. So we need to start getting, I'm going to tap some of this lighter over here too. We need to start getting some darker. Let's look at the picture again. See how dark some of those greens are on the mountains? So let's start switching up. I know my sample looks different than that picture, so I just want you to know it doesn't have to look like that. Now we're going to take some dark, how about some brown? We'll start with brown, and we're going to mix it with this green, and let's see what happens. So still look green, but just a dark shade of green, like an olivey green. See that? Let's see what we think. We can always go back over it if we don't like it. And, you know, there's mountainous places that look like, you know, has a lot of dirt poking through. And we still have our red poking through for fun. And then we can come back over to that. So since I've got these colors out, I'm going to go ahead and do this section. Ooh, it's already been an hour. Okay, now this part I want to be different. I want it to have more green in it. So let's see about that brown and this, what this looks like together. What kind of color can we make here? Probably should have done this one kind of like that. Ooh, this is interesting. Ooh, it's a different olive color. I like that. So when you add yellow to green, or if you add brown, or if you add a little bit of lighter green or darker green to each one, or if you add white, you're going to get a lot of different shades of green. That yellow's poking through there. Keep going. Need a little bit of water, but not too much. Not too much. Got too much. Oops, I think I went down in the water a little bit. Not on purpose, though. Okay, see there? See all our greens and browns? This is starting to look more like more a natural look than the hot pinks and all that. That's going to change. It's all going to change. Okay. I would go ahead. Well, we've got this little spot right here. Let's keep going because that's not touching that green. So we can keep going with this green that we have here. And it's different from the one beside it. So that's good. Okay. So look at all that texture. Lots of texture. Okay, that tree, that little tree right there. I'm going to add a little bit of this. It's really more, I think it's got some blue in it. Okay, this blue-green. I'm going to mix these two together. See what kind of green I get and see what we can do right here. Okay. Let's move on. Let me dry it a little bit, and then let's move on to the water, which is orange. But we want our water to be some shade of blue. And to do that, I'm going to start mixing some more colors. So I need a new little spot to mix that y'all can kind of see. Okay. So this periwinkle color I really like for the blues. That's pretty. I'm going to see about putting it on here. See what I think. Yeah, I like it. We will be adding another layer, so don't worry if you feel like it looks unfinished. We'll go back in some places, we'll add more too. Okay, that's the water. There's more water over here. You want a little bit of orange, but not a ton. It's gonna poke through more than you think, probably. And then remember down in here, this yellow is not yellow. This orange is supposed to be more of the water. Okay, water. Water, water, water. This Benadryl better kick in. The way that water looks, something's not right. I think there should have been a mountain coming up more, maybe. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to get some green, and I'm going to come up here, go across here. This was supposed to be mountain. Okay. Do y'all see it yet? Can you see it? Okay, let's do the sky. I'm going to do this really, really, really bright blue. Add it to that periwinkle to make a really pretty bright blue. We could add a little, maybe a little white to it. Oh gosh, my white is not going to be white when I'm ready for it. Not at all. Okay, so we're going to start doing tap, tap, tap. Or dab, dab, dab. I like the texture of that better, if you can tell the difference. I think I was actually going to do this where the purple is, but oh well. But go back and get some more, some white, but I need to use a different brush because I'm really messing up my white over here. And I need it for my lighthouse. So I'm going to stick it over here, mix it with some of this blue. See how that did? And that's more of what I'm looking for what I just did. Okay, so let's play with that. Let's put this on top of the blue we just did. Blend it in there. But I still have that purple shining through, or that other kind of blue color. Still looks purple to me, so it's shining through. Ooh, yeah, I like this better. Now, as I go to above this, I kind of want it to blend together more. But right now, it's not so much. It looks so separated, but the sky is all together, right? So let's see about just continuing that up, but maybe just more of the lighter color. So let me grab some more white and make some more of that right here. Okay, so now where this purple is, I'm going to kind of blend this. I want to like blend it in together. So I want some of the light blue going on top of the darker blue and then onto the purple as well. And then I can start pulling in some of that other blue as well, because you know the sky looks different. Go out and look at the sky. Go out and look at the sky to be inspired. Sometimes you think, gosh, I'm painting this in the sky. That doesn't look like the sky. And then you go out there and you're like, wow, the sky is so cool and different and unique, and you never know. Never looks the same. Ooh, here's a little bit of different blue we're going into. But again, we can go back and blend in some down here. But see how that purple's, it's shooting through, because if you look at the sky, especially at nighttime, when it's starting to get dark, it has those different shades like poking through. If I get through this, y'all. Okay, and then remember right in here, that's the glass poking through the lighthouse. And this, after it dries, we can go back over and add another layer to it as well. Look at what you like. Like what is it that you like that you're going to go back and, like I'm really I love that texture right there. But I still may go in and add like some little flowers there, just dots of pink or something. Just to make it look different. See, let me show you on my original. Look at the bottom left. I know it's lighter colors, but it has those little pink flowers, and all that is just little flecks, little dots. They look so different. It's hard to show. It's hard to compare. I don't. Let's not compare. Let's like compare with each other or your own work, right? Okay. So we've got our sky up here, if you can see it. We've got all of this around here. We've got our body of water. I feel like the water I want to lighten up. So let's think about adding some white to that, okay? So I'm going to get some white. And remember over here I was playing around with blues and whites and all. Well, the water is blue and white, so we'll do this. And you could try a different brush and do some dabbing with that and make it look different. If you wanted to. The other brush is easier for me because it covers more space too. But that way, this is lightening up the water. See what I mean? And when I hold the brush up straight up like this, I really like the results I get better than if I'm not holding it straight up. So play with your brush. Try different things. I love how I think it's hard to see because of the way my light is, but I'll hold it up in a minute and show you. It's almost like there's ripples on the waves. Kind of see. There's texture there too. Okay, let's go to the White House. Lighthouse. The White House. Yes, it's going to be white, I hope. That's the goal. Now, give me some white. And this, I think I'm just going to start painting on top. And I'm not doing the dabbing technique right now. I may not on this. I might like it just like this better. And I'm using that first paintbrush that I had. Because not everything has to be that textured looking. It could be smoother. But you have to be careful because this is gouache and it can reactivate the pink, the red underneath, which is fine. It doesn't matter. I still love it. Love the way it looks. But we can keep going over it with layers of white, and then it can be whiter in places and having some pink pop through some other places. So I'm just going to add a little bit more white, but it's like straight white. See how it covers better? Still love that red poking through. Once we get to a point to where we can use our fine liner and add some details, you're going to like it even better because it's going to start to look like something. Right now, it still looks like a bunch of blobs. Do you trust me? I hope so. Because this is the junior high phase. Remember what the junior high phase is? It's awkward. It's so awkward. Nobody wants to go back to junior high. Nobody. Now, the top of this was actually red, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then this is white, but it's brown or black above and below. I added a little water, so that covered a little bit better too. My brush is getting kind of dry, so there we go. It's starting to look more white. Yeah, it's just going to have to be trust on this at this point. Okay, these little houses are white as well. After I do these, I'm going to go and add yellow to our light for our lighthouse to see if that helps us start to see it come to life. That's a little bit of that little house too. Can you see the lighthouse? The three little houses. Okay, yellow. I'm back to that original first brush, and I'm going to clean that off pretty good, but I want a little bit of water to go in with my yellow. I think I like a little bit of orange and yellow together. And look how that looks on top of that pink. So tomorrow, if you decide to do the iPad class with me, you'll see how we do this, on the iPad. Similar but different. And the red top on the lighthouse is next. I have a couple shades of red. This one has a little bit of orange in it, so I think I'm going to play with that, especially since I used a different shade underneath it. Okay. Maybe grab some dark brown or black and then run it across here. It's better to let the other things around it dry first. I noticed that it's kind of wanting to go into my light. That's my bad. That's my bad too. Things like this are good to do. Like if I weren't with you guys, I would have done like all the grass and the mountains, and I would have left and done something else, and then come back to do other things. So you give your layers each a chance to dry in between. So whereas I think I could make this look okay, I could kind of fix it ish. It's still better if you can have patience to let stuff dry in between. And I'm just picking this up with water or blending it in with water there. All right. And we could just keep going and adding more. Like if you look at the lighthouse here. See how that light has the light has a lot of flecks in there? Light flecks. I'm going to try to show you something like that here. So now I'm going to get white with a little bit of yellow. Okay. And then I'm going to take that and put some flecks in here. Now, it's probably too soon. I probably should wait till it dries better. Let me let it dry. You could even use your white gel pen for that. Okay, let's see if it'll do anything now. And if not, we'll come back and let it. Kind of. I think a white gel pen would be great on top of that. Okay. What next? These little houses. I'm going to go over them with the red. If that pink wants to shine through, we'll let it. If it doesn't, that's okay too. And then a little over here on that side. Okay. Now, if we want to, we can do gray at like that little driveway. If we think it's worth it, like part of me wishes I just would have made it mountains. Okay, I'm adding just one tap. Oh, that was blue. Never mind. I guess it was navy. One tap of black right there. It looks a lot like this, so maybe a little bit darker. Maybe another. That's better. So it's really, really different. Okay, and I'm just going to use this to paint with. I'm not doing dabs or anything. And imagine this is the groundkeepers. The groundkeepers area. When we walked up to the, we didn't go all the way up to the lighthouse. It's pretty far, but we walked about half a mile up, and there was a groundskeeper house, and there was one of these little houses looked like it was I went into one of them. I don't know if it was one of these actual ones, but it was a souvenir shop. And this area is just, oh, it's so incredible. It's just so fun that it's a real spot, that I know where it is. I've been right there. I've walked right up here. And this ocean was so rough. It was. But can you see the sky, the pink puffing through the sky? If y'all are hanging with me, you are really, it's probably really boring right now. I feel like I should stop and do our lettering real quick and then finish up with the details. But I need to make sure this is really dry or it's just going to smear everywhere when my arm gets up there to do the lettering. Now, tomorrow when we do the iPad, just imagine the tapping. You're still there? Good, Donna. You're working? If you're going to do it, it is fun to do it side by side so we could be doing it together. Okay, where your waterproof pen or marker is going to come in, you want a really, really fine pen, okay? This is an 03. I'm going to start with this one. Okay, it's an 03, so it's got a really, really fine tip, and this is a Unipen. All right, you're still watching, yay! So this is the part where I really need to use my pen. Okay, the window. I need to really make that look like it's a window. And see how it's starting to make it look like something. And then right here, there's a little walkway outside of the lighthouse, walkway outside over here. And then if you want to continue to outline, you can, but that's the main part. I forgot. The walkway goes all the way around right here. And then through there, around the other side. Okay. I see that I did not do, up here, it was actually supposed to be that brown color, which again, it doesn't have to be exactly, but I kind of like it being that brown color. So I'm going to put a line up here, at least right here. It just looks better. Yeah, it's already 2:20. Okay. There's that. I almost feel like I should just stop for today. I mean, I'm pretty much close to getting done though. You just go back in and do more layers and define. This now looks kind of solid. I feel like it needs more something, needs more texture or something, more color. So what I would do in that case is go in and find some more green of some sort and then just start adding to it. And then I told you I might add some little flowers down in the bottom. You could even take the back of your paintbrush and dab it in something. I'm just dabbing it. I'm going to dab it in this hot pink. Okay. And then do like just little taps. So it looks like little flowers blooming in the area. Just in that little area. So you know that not the whole thing is going to have those same flowers, but this little area does. And you could pick another place to do it too if you wanted to. It's 3:20 there. Let me show you just for fun if you did another area. Just kind of spread it out, make them different sizes. And again, this is just the back of my paintbrush, and I just dipped it in there. So it's kind of fun. And if I had the light pink that I had to throw away, I would maybe add a few of those in there too. Is that helpful? I do feel like going back in here and adding some more, even some, let me see, even some yellow. I love green and yellow together, but it got kind of flat. It was looking all the same. So adding this may add a little more texture and then have that other green shining through the back. And if you notice on my original, on my iPad version, let me show you, pull it back up. Look at this almost yellow. Look at that. I feel like I'm pointing at it to you. Okay, the bottom left-hand corner, how it's just almost yellow. And then there's some other sections up above that are almost yellow. That yellow green. If you go out, I want you to go out and look in some bushes. I want you to go look at your yard. I want you to look at when you're driving down the road. And I want you to look at all the greens. There's a million greens that you're going to see. And some look yellow and some look, brown. And they're just all different colors. See, what if I add a little bit of this in here? I don't know. I can always go back and add some more brown to it if I want to. Keep playing around with it. If you want to outline everything, you can. I don't think you need to, but you can. Definitely can. I'm going to try to dry it and see what I can do about some lettering. He has made everything beautiful in his time. That's just what kept coming back to me whenever I was trying to figure out what scripture I wanted to use with it. I I think going back and maybe defining the houses with the marker might be nice too. I'm gonna regret it, aren't I, if I smear this. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if I add just a little V here and a straight line here and there is gonna do a lot for it, I think. There was even a little bench in front of this if you want to take the time to draw the bench. I'm probably not going to do that. You could add windows to it if you want to do that. Oops. None of my lines are perfectly straight or perfect where they need to be. That's because everything here is loose and there's nothing perfect about it. Okay. I'm going to put away my... Do y'all see anything that like needs help right now, needs attention before I do the lettering? We didn't do the trees. Okay, the trees, you would just like make some lines like this. Thanks for asking. And then I'm just doing some upside down V shapes like that to make some trees. They're not perfect. They're kind of crooked. Am I feeling better? I still feel weird. I mean, I'm not hurting or anything. It's just my throat is not happy. Make some wider than others and make sure everything's dry or it's going to dry up your marker like it's probably doing mine right now. Glaze pen's always good. You know how I love a glaze pen, but they're really thick. It comes out really thick. And so you just want to make sure if you're using that you're prepared for that. I don't like for mine to be too thick. Now these are not supposed to be in the water necessarily, so I'm going to make them go look like they're going behind the house or behind that little house. And sometimes the gouache, the pen doesn't want to write on the gouache, so you might have to scribble it off on a paper pad or something to get that little film that comes on the markers. But anyway, there's some trees. You can do more trees if you want that aren't even there. You can make up your own trees. Okay, you could add more detail to this tree if you want. My marker's not wanting to do. Okay, so that means I've got to figure out what marker I'm going to do up here. I'm probably going to start with my erasable pen. But I'm going to close this first because I'm about to get these on my clothes. But for now, I'm going to put my gouache away. I can always pull it back out and add. Okay, put the gouache away. Lettering. Now, if you wanted to, you could put this back over here and trace it. I guess I could do that. I'm just going to trace it right on top of there. And as far as what pen to trace over it, gosh, I wonder now if I should use the glaze pen because I think it might work better on here. I'll see. Sometimes you just need to use a good old Sharpie. But that might even not want to work with the gouache. I knew this was going to be a really long class. Apologies. But beauty takes time sometimes. Y'all pray for Jenny. Jenny is doing a Bible journaling class at my church on Saturday. So I'm so excited for her. That Ecclesiastes is so tiny. I'm not going to write that right there. Okay, now I can see it. Can you see it? Not very well, but I can. So that's what's important. And I'm going to start with a glaze pen. I'm just going to see what happens. And I'm going to scribble it here first to get it going because it's already. Ooh, look. Do you see anything left in there? It still acts like it has some juice, so I'm going to keep going. Ooh, it shows up nice. I love how black that is. Uh-oh. It's trying to dry up, though. He has made everything beautiful. It's hard to see the rest. I'm just going to have to make it up in its time. And then the abbreviation for Ecclesiastes, I think it's ECC. I'm just going to put it down here. ECC 311. Like that. I'm going to hold it up to the camera a little bit closer so you can see better. I'm going to take away this and that. And then I'm going to be careful when I pull this off. And there it is. There it is. So again, I could go back and add some more details, but I mean, I think it's pretty good. If I did anything else, I might ask. I don't know where that came from. I might add a little bit of white detail, just where it looks like there's some lighter places. What do you call it? Like a highlight where the light's shining through. And then actually you could go ahead and add some highlights. Like that already looks better having that right there. Maybe make a line right here. Coming down over here on the side. That's probably not going to show up right there. But anyway, add some little white details. And that always makes it better, I think. All right. Have a great rest of the week. Don't forget Thursday. We have a new ABC coming out. I think it's G. And you, as a tribe member, get the template for that. So make sure you grab access to that. Anyway, I hope you guys had fun. Thank you for the prayers. Talk to you guys later. Bye.